Hello, my name is Luciana. This is my presentation for my Eco112 class. Okay, for the first question, right? The first question is one person's income is another person's in one person's spending is another person's income. So let me set an example. So I work at the barista. I work as a barista. I got paid every bi-weekly. When I get paid, I have the money to pay the bills and to go out with my friends. At first, pay the bills is the most important things. I have to pay for the Wi-Fi bills, the phone bills, and etc. Or the gasoline. So those money is the money that I pay for to the company. For example, National Grid, etc. So when I pay the money to National Grid, that's the income of the company. Then the income of the company will be passed on to becoming a salary for the employees. Then when I go out and eat to shop or eat, for example, to a restaurant, then I'll probably spend like $60+ with another person for two-person. Then the money that just pay could turn into incomes for the suppliers, employees, and more. Then the process repeat and repeat every time you get paid. To go more into details, Chick-fil-A is an example that I said. So I had to spend $35 plus tax on two meals. Then only a few percent of the money that is paid for the meals is the owner's profits. The owners have to pay a lot for the to maintain the shop. For example, ingredients, rents and leases, salaries, bills, and taxes. So for first of all, ingredients. To make the meals, we need chickens and more, nuggets, drinks, cups, wrappers, um, and more supplies, all the supplies they need to make come up with the meal. Then the owners have to pay for that. So those will become the incomes for the suppliers. Then for rents and leases, either the shop itself or the machines, the fountain drinks, the fryers and more, the fridge maybe. Then those are the income for the landlords and agency. Then to maintain a shop, you need more than one employees. Then the money that is spent on those meals could be uh, proportionally the salaries of the employees. And then the owners have to also have to pay bills like electricity bills and water bills and more. Then they will pay to the companies. So then there's people that work in the companies. So that will be the income for the bills that they pay will become the incomes for those companies. Then we pay taxes when we buy stuff, any stuff, food, drinks. Then those taxes will become the government incomes and more. Okay, next. Then why one person's income is another person's one person's spending is another person's income is important because this concept is important because it keep the economy stable and keep the currency to flow around smoothly. If, for example, if I got paid and didn't spend any money, I didn't pay for anything, I don't need to pay for anything. There's no income for another person. Unless example around the COVID years. So during the COVID year, people cannot really go out that east, like go out if they're restricted to go out, so there's less spending. A lot of people spend less money during that time. That which caused restaurant and businesses to temporarily or permanently close. A lot of restaurants was closed during that time. That mean that people lost their job and suffered with financial hardships. So a lot of people lost their jobs. Then the spending income cycle break down. So during that years, it's it's really hard for people to recover back because people cannot go out to shop, cannot go out to eat. That's the time that e-commerce, like shopping online, got more popular because those places don't need like a place. They only need a place for storage and sell and ship everything out. So that really take a big hit on local businesses and small businesses. That's that. The next, opportunity cost. The best alternative, my definition of opportunity cost would be the best alternative over what you give up on when you choose one over the other. So I also set myself as an example. Work as first, I work as a barista. As a normal job, get little pay above the minimum wage. The time is around 11 to 8 to 9 o'clock at nighttime. Then I got an offer to work in the medical field as a receptionist. So the site manager promised me to get me more pay, more benefits, for example, PTOs, and more. And that I can get to experience more than become a barista, so I can learn more about medical fields. So, in that two options, my best alternative that I would pick will be the to work in the medical field because I might get I got my pay and usually when you work in the medical field it's 9 to 5 as a receptionist. I'm not talking about nurse, but as a receptionist usually it's just 9 to 5. So the hours will be a normal hours, so I don't get home that late. There's more, but when I compared the pay rates and more and the experience I have, the best alternative that I would pick will be the medical field. Yes. So what does opportunity cost help us with? It help us to make better decisions and prioritize what is important. And it also help us to use our time and money wisely. Then also to think about what you're giving up, not just what you're getting. Uh, Opportunity cost could be small as choosing to drive, take the bus, or the ferry to the city. To go little in details, if you choose to drive to the city, of course there want to be a lot of traffics, and you have to pay the tolls too. Then, yeah, for example, if I have to drive the city, I have to pay the tolls to get to uh past the Maranzano Bridge, and to go also to the tunnel or do the Brooklyn or Manhattan Bridge. So I have to pay two tolls to get into Manhattan, especially during the rush hours. Then if I take a bus, usually you can just take the same bus. It's one ride, it's $7. Then if I take the ferry, I have to take the train, then to the ferry. So it usually take a little longer. You have to make more um transfers than taking a sim bus, because sim bus you can just go there directly. Um, the benefit of taking the bus and the ferry to the city would be that you don't have to look for a parking spot like you're driving. So the opportunity cost compared to three of this option could be time, the money, and the money too. Because one could be less expensive than the other, might take a little longer, or maybe just you don't mind the time. You can leave the house a little early, but you get you want to get a cheaper trip, take the ferry, of course. If you're really in a rush and you want to get there on time and you have a shorter time period, then you might have to sacrifice the money and you have to pay a little extra and take the bus or to drive there. And would cost more to drive there because you have to look for a parking spot and have to pay for the meter and drive. That's that. Then incentive, sorry. So my definition of incentives is to encourage and motivate people to do something. There's two main parts of incentive. There's positive and negative. So positive is for good behavior, of course. You get rewarded for what you do. For example, you get money, prize, praise, and extra credit on test score if you do it really good, or you do extra assignments if the teacher give you extra credit. Then negative incentive for bad behavior will be punishment, usually fines, bad grades, and late fees if you didn't make up your pay up in time for credit card uh debts. And why is it important? So it is important because it shapes the behavior and decision makings. Also, it promotes good outcomes. Then positive incentives will usually make you feel motivated and to do even more than you would. So first, you do more for the first example that I said will be you do more than you could at work and receive compliments from customers and colleagues. First, you will get prize and recognitions for good behavior, might benefit yourself in future evaluations for work. So since everybody like what you're doing and you did really good, people might tell the manager that they like you, that you're doing your work well. That will benefit that you might get a raise or you might get a little more bonuses, maybe. And you probably have an opportunity to step up a little. They might promote you to a higher position if you do more. That could be a positive incentive to make you to do even more. Then the second one that I'm listed will be government give incentive on installing solar panels. So they I didn't know much about it, but I've been having people coming to my house to tell us the benefit of solar panels and persuade us to install them. They give there's some example that they give me extra incentive why we should install solar panels. First, tax breaks. So the state and the local will offer extra discounts and trust and tax credit in the end of the year. And they also give us the incentive of using cleaner energy, energies which might benefit the environment. Mhm. And negative incentive will make you worse off. So, I set myself as an example again. So, for example, if I decide to drive to the city for lunch with my friends, then there could be a lot of punishments. So the first occasion scenarios that I said will be a rushing to get there on time, and unfortunately get pulled over. So usually when you get pulled over, that means that you did something that is not lawful, right? And they pull you over for a reason. So I get pulled over for speeding. My punishment would be I would be getting a ticket, which might be deducted over a certain level. So if you pass more than 15 to 20 miles per hour to the legal speed, your points might get deducted. Then the second scenario will be I can't find a parking spot. I'm risked by parking in a commercial parking zone. There could be because in the city there's a lot of commercial parking. So if I just risk it like that, I might get a ticket for not following the orders. For example, it's parked there, I might get a big ticket. Then the second outcome might be the car might get towed. I even have to pay more fines. Those are negatives that is taking money out of my pocket and pay for the fines that I did for the things that I do wrong. Basically, yes. And that's it. Thank you.